Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Hello there, welcome back.
Welcome back, guys. And Rama's here, too. He wishes everybody health and happiness. This was an exclusive for the members on YT and Patreon, and it was Realizing Superhuman Potential, lesson number 10. Yes, we've covered a lot, and there's still just so much more to go through. Understanding your personal elemental makeup. Because, life is a balancing act, and we need to find balance in a crazy, chaotic world.
Right, and these are all things that you can do yourself. We left links in there where people can go find the testing, and they can try to work on figuring themselves out a little bit, which is great and wonderful. And I just wanted to say an extended thank you to Xenomorph, or our dear Jen, Heather, Renee, for your guys' added support. And I know there's more names in there, and with what we're going through, we really appreciate it.
Yeah, it's been very, very challenging times for us personally. Very, very challenging in more ways than one. So again, we want to thank you guys for your support, because we couldn't do it without you guys. And here we see Justin, U.S. federal housing regulator, calls on Congress to investigate federal chair Jerome Powell. Oh, this is interesting, is it not? Yet anything we look at geopolitically, we have to say, is this a deviation from the script? Or is this part of the script? And you have to feel into it and weigh into it what's really going on. This is potentially very large. Powell has kept rates artificially high, as this is saying, to spite President Trump, causing millions of homeowners and buyers great harm. Do your job, Congress. Investigate Powell. Well, again, we understand that all these people that are in positions of power are very, very corruptible. And in fact, for the most part, I do think the majority of them are there because they are corruptible. And they will do things to better themselves, even if it means doing things to, not better all the rest of us that they're supposed to be looking out to protect. No, it's been a good old boys club. That's the realization. This is what it is. You get initiated into the club, and you're expected to, again, follow certain rules. But those rules are not about taking care of the average, in our case, American, United States citizen. No, it's become very apparent it's not that way at all. And the same goes, for all the other countries around the world, because this corruption is pretty complete. It's corruption in every party. It's corruption in every system, every political ideology. It is ultimately corruption of a parasitic nature that feeds off of all of us, constantly feeding off of all of us in order to, keep these select few in positions of apparent authority, even though they take their orders from those that are operating in the shadows. But yeah, this could be big. This could be big, or it could also be, out of the frying pan into the fire in so many ways. One thing it has done is it has absolutely lit a fire under the crypto market today. Let's look at the market cap in day. Bitcoin jumped up 3.6%. If you follow crypto at all, you probably have been scratching your head saying, why is it only where it's at, which Bitcoin's at $109,497 for one Bitcoin. Again, this is something that could have been bought, let's say 12, 15 years ago for just a tiny little fraction. I forget when Bitcoin was at $100 mark. But literally that $100 worth of Bitcoin today, again, it's just massive, the return. You can't find a return like that really anywhere. It dwarfs even gold when you look at it. And Ethereum, big day, up 6.5% as well. XRP up 4%. And we see Solana up 4% as well. Pretty big day. I think it's pent up. And if you haven't been paying attention, the people that have been buying into crypto is not necessarily what you would call the average retail investors. In fact, as far as that's been flat. There really hasn't been a whole bunch of new people individually getting into crypto. Who's getting into crypto? It's the big institutions. It's the huge institutions they're laying the groundwork for this. And to me, it has bait and switch written all over it. It's pretty obvious. They want to introduce us to this technology. But how can they control such a massive crypto market where you have thousands of coins? How could they, coins and tokens, how could they control that? I don't think they ultimately could so much. I mean, obviously they want to control our bank accounts. But then again, will we have bank accounts? Because this is to replace the banking industry. And, there's all these ETFs that are coming about. The groundwork is being laid. It still might be, 3, 4 more years, 5 years before the switchover is complete. But it might not even be that long. And when you look at it, they've been planning this forever. So, again, we look at this and put out hope and optimism that we can have a very transparent society. I don't fear anybody looking at our finances. Just don't get too sad. Don't do it and get depressed now. But again, we have personally not stored up our treasures in banks. We try to store it in the heavens, in the sense that we try to store karma and doing good and trying to help the world as much as we can. That's just how our outlook has been. And many of you people are the same way. I mean, our regulars, as I look at 2:22 p.m., our regulars, for the most part, are people that understand the big picture. We are spiritual entities. We are eternal beings having a temporary sojourn here on planet Earth at the turn of a yuga, at the turn of an age. So, the reality is, all this has been planned for decades, if not centuries. Now, you have a federal judge that has just ruled that Trump's southern border crackdown is illegal, must be halted. This is per Politico. As we know, the border was a big, obvious issue. Now, personally, I think that if you, and this will terrify so many people, I think the whole concept of division through countries and borders is one that enables the system to keep us fighting each other all the time. So if we didn't have any sort of national boundaries, if we didn't have any sort of governing authorities, like no UN, no EU, no, if it was all broken down to a county level, a town level, you would find, the system would find that it's impossible to control everybody. This is why we have the system that we do. This is why the system that we have is in place. U.S. halting some weapons shipments to Ukraine as its military stockpiles have plummeted because of the nonstop warfare. So you would say, well, that is good. Yeah, I mean, there are some signs of things that are good. It looks like P. Diddy is, maybe going to get off scot-free. We'll see. But definitely getting a pass on some things. Again, the system always looks out for the system. This is par for the course. Yet, we have some signs that people can take solace in. U.S. aid officially ceased operations. We understand how that was going. The reality is taxation shouldn't be what it is. And even income tax was put in as a temporary measure. Like 112 years ago, they put it in as a temporary measure. Once the system gets their grubby little hands in your pockets, they're not going to take them out. We have to demand that they take them out. We have to demand real change. And yeah, I think they will throw us a bone from time to time in order to appease us and to quiet the masses. But we have to push harder. We need an all-new system. We need a system that's not really a system. We need to create some sort of free-form organic flow where we can all be a unique expression of Source without having to conform to all these things that they have us conform to.
Mm-hmm. And this is a sweet little girl. She's a natural healer, and all these creatures know it. And they all get along, They might be predator and prey, but they're okay. They're fine with it. They just want to chillax, and I think that's what we want to do too. And we're here doing our best to try to drudge forward and create that world where we can just simply be and we don't have to be stressed all the time.
No, absolutely. So, I think, again, it's about realizing what our basic needs and necessities are. Thankful for a roof over our head. We're thankful for food to eat. That's a wonderful thing. We're thankful for, a nice, peaceful area to live in, etc. I mean, it's always about gratitude. Gratitude will raise our frequency higher and higher and higher. And, I'm also very grateful for the best partner anybody could ever ask for. I just absolutely adore her. And every day with her is a treasure, and it's to be cherished.
Ditto.
Ditto, cutie. And we thank you guys, because you guys are a treasure and to be cherished. Again, we won't fall for the division. The division is there for the very purpose of keeping humanity from recognizing its unity. Again, I had talked about this yesterday and maybe today too. It was hitting me in meditation. What we have to waken people up to is unity consciousness. We have to look at it from the standpoint that we're all cells in the body. And when we fight each other, we are truly acting like a cancer, like a raging pathogen in the body. When we refuse to fight each other and instead look for opportunities to help each other, then everything can change.
Indeed.
Source bless and namaste.
Namaste.